Hi everyone, it's Jen from Mindseye. So we're going to go ahead. It is Wednesday, July 2nd, and we're going to go ahead and see what is going on. So basically all you need to know is that there's like a lot of things going on as far as the public. There's a lot of plea deals going on. There's a lot of instances going on. One of the things that showed up on TikTok through Twitter and a few other places was about Las Vegas. And there was this whole road where all the lights were down, like all the telephone poles were down. They just like overnight, they don't know what happened. Then we have Sean Combs. He did plead guilty to prostitution charges, but not sex trafficking charges. They're still focusing on the big bill. They're still talking about this July 4th issue about celebrating it. They're talking about Wade Wilson again. They're talking about the Menendez brothers again. And then when you look at Kohlberger, that's going on live right now. And then basically it's like you just got to go about. But are we shipping out? Is it war? What is going? Are they like clearing the course or something like that? I just don't really know. So let's actually start with the runes. Let's start with the daily tarot runes and what we need to know as far as like what is going on for today. Trying to change it up a little bit here on this platform. So we have Moonho, and it has to do something with like joy and like happiness. And it means something. I can see it. It's something out there with the way that they're talking and the way that they're gaining and gathering. It has something to do with like joy. It has to do with instinct. And it has to, I feel like it's something like cardiac. I feel like it's in line for sure with what they just did with healthcare. Because when I see Rideau, it comes in strong. It's like a flow in strong, like a ride-along, like a wind current. But really, it has to do with living. I'm still seeing issues like something with probate out in the community, like multiple areas, multiple states, which is really not normal. And you could sit there and you can put your comment in more than anything else. But, you know, it is freedom of speech right here. But when you see this and you see warrior, what is this like warrior that keeps coming in about probate, about like instinct, about all of that? It has something to do that was like faded, but it really wasn't faded. It's something written. When I say writ, I keep saying W-R-I-T, which when you run it down, it really is wrought iron. It's like rust to Rust-Oleum to a bumper of a car. It's really like I inherited this car. Yeah, basically. But it's a gem. It's odd when you have those things. So when I actually go through it and I go, you can't even see it forward. There's something hidden. There's still that game. I thought he went in on racketeering, Sean Combs, and other things. He was cleared of it. That's all you need to know. So when I see Barcana, like a birth of something, they were cleared of the charges. And you can't even like get it out. When you see this and you go, holy cow, this is like a gift. It is like a sword. And you see the two swords, like someone like pulling it out like this and say, I'm ready. And you go, Dega. It really goes to actually federal agencies that are dealing with medical, all of them. And I see Nadis, it really is at night. So then all of a sudden, like at night, the board committees passed this hearing. That's what showed up. That kind of made me go, oh, okay. When I see Hegel, I go, no, you can't even believe it. It really does cause havoc. First thing in the morning. So should we like be watching the news? Because I mean, I'm touching the faded rune again. It's flipping. Everything is flipping. When I see this and I go, it really is wholesome. When I look at this, it's not the actual definition of like ulcer or ash. It's wholesome of defensiveness. Like there's people who actually recovered. And you want to say, thank God that their doctor was right. They were able-bodied and they can go back to work, even with a back injury. You go, they're running pretty well. They're running really well. So when I see it and I go, Othala Estate Heritage, I feel like there's something that is not seen or shown or so old that you can't do, but it's really not there. It really isn't. When I see this and I see strength, it really is hard on a hit hard to a Wheel of Fortune. What is the bigger picture? I mean, this is what is like running gold as a gem down to Lakeview effect. No, it's lake effect. No, Lakeview effect. So when I see it and I go, no, it really is true. It really is about like collecting on how hard it is that I can't even do. You can't even do it whatsoever. To where you say it's fire season. You can't have a bonfire. You can't have these things. So it really is coherency. It's not gibberish. It's not anything. This is what is the topic on the table. All right, let's pull some cards. Here it is. What do we need to know about Sean Combs? What is going on with this trial? All right, there's something about this on the split of the deck. It's the Queen of Swords, and it has to do with logic. And when you see it, it is the King of Swords to where they want to say it's the King of Swords, but really it's the King of Wands. And you say interference, absolute interference. They're just throwing energy out here in Connecticut so bad you can't get done throughout the day. So here it is. It's sitting honorably, and it's logical, and it cuts away at like a lot of things. Are you aware of what you're facing, sir, Sean Combs? I mean, this is a slew of charges. And you go, no, I sat well. It's like it's feminine energy. I don't know why I'm seeing Aaliyah. So when I see Knight of Wands, I go, it will come like charging in to the highest point of known. You've got to work everything about the elements and everything about yourself of working of oneself magic. But you don't have to always be a magician to work your magic. What's on the paper? You followed the paper. Yep. And when we followed the paper, when it went down to actual, maybe if it was school or maybe it was military, you followed your orders, you followed through. And what happened? It actually went to, there was an equal give and take to an offer. And then they say, see, there it is. It is classic. Done. And you say, I don't know what a done is. When you see this, everyone goes, oh my God. When it goes done, A-D-U-N, everyone is cross-eyed from so much slander, slew, and defamation to suppression that the Supreme Court to military court will like literally cut everything out and bring it in. Whatever crime is running. That is what I'm saying. So he's acquitted and he's down to prostitution charges and he was cleared of it. Just take it at face value. That's what I'm saying. It's not something that we want to remember. It was 1956 that I'm hearing that this was the last time it went through. So let's talk about this big bill. Is it actually going to pass? We're actually going to use the Pleiadian Oracle. Like, what is going through here? So you look at this, and it's a massive timeline jump that's happening down at the Capitol. When you see the planetary guardian, there's something that escalated through so hard that you couldn't even believe it. You couldn't even. You go, oh my God. You can't even see it coming. This timeline jump actually comes out of ruins, like up to an exhume. Is that really in the bill that they're passing Congress and the Senate right now? You wouldn't even believe it. You wouldn't even believe it. It's heinous. It's just like, this is heinous. When I see this, when I see like Maya, it is all going to all knowing, to all be it be, and be what may, and be obey. This is all just psychic mediumship through instinct and intuition. Where you see rooted light, you actually can pick up on things when you see the whole thing about the horizon. When you see quantum heart, quantum is really already here through AI. When you see imagination, you have to say, did I see a ghost? Did I see this? Did I see that? What is going on? When you see star family, you go, no, they did not. You couldn't even see it coming. Like, where were you for years? The family comes out of the woodworks when these things happen. Fifth dimensional access. I have to say, this is like when people are doing like meditative state. This is still on the bill on the congressional floor about mothership. What is it ushering in about this bill? When you look at the North Star like sky, and you see that it's like a bullseye dot. When you see cosmic unity, like everyone is on the same page. It was heinous. When you see light technology, it was like heard. It was heard to literally get a done and be obey, like be away from the situation and watch it. Something like this really has come through committee hearings, through Senate and congressional, like everything, that you can't even believe that's happening in 2025 this way. But it was the only way to do it, every which way and form. So when you see light language, I have to say frequency and hertz, and then you hear that there's like something about this, like creativity. You had to say, like, did they make it up or did they really create this? You had to be creative to actually like keep up around the house. Many people in the United States, some multiple countries. And when you hear transmission, it's like intuitive speaking, where everyone hears it throughout because it's so loud. When you see Song of Your Soul, like, where is this going with the bill that is trying to be passed? Here we go. Let's do the Light Seers Tarot. Cup. I hear cup. D-O-N-E. It is illusional and delusional. When you see the Queen of Wands, there's no mastery or skill about passing that bill, but all is seen and known. Where is it going? Where is this going right now? You got to look intuitively. This is the High Priestess on what is going through. On a little bit of a dig, it's going to be apathetic. Like, Democrats are not happy with this whatsoever. Like, this is such disappointment on what really happened. What is this unveiling? It's an unveiling. It really is an unveiling. Why do I see, like, I have to say, like, this is like, I got this. Oh my God, I can't even get my words out. Like, so, like somebody took their, like, they forced their burqa off them. That's heinous. There's a reason why women wear burqas. Like I explained before, after I had a head injury, I got to wear a bandana a little bit. Burkana, birthplace of something. Birch. Stemming, oak tree, solid wood. I feel like it was like the Civil War. I saw a little bit of remote viewing. I feel like some people were a little bit of a tick up of the affiliates, like KKK, Black Panthers, Aryan Brotherhood. Like I feel like it actually got really scary out there. Had to do with wealth, like a type of like wealth out here. When you see this and you see strength, it's not fear mongering, warmongering, confirming your own way, every which way inform, read the articles, watch the news, know how your community responds. But at least out here in this portion of Connecticut, nobody was allowed to play outside. Like you could not play outside whatsoever. When you look at this and you go, yeah, I mean that's how bad it was getting to where you couldn't even clean up your dog poop because you had to show your detriment. You have to actually say, some people actually have to button their lips. So when I see this and I say, holy cow, you can't even believe it. Here you go. Here you go. What kind of havoc actually is like, I just like picking up on it right now. Like what is actually true? What is actually true? So in reality, they're very aware of like everything about this. That's what I'm hearing. And then you go, joy. There's like some sort of joy. So I'm hearing in the energy right now, like no more black obsidian bones for now. Because it is hard and heavy. Here we go. If you're just joining us, we're just doing like daily things that are like occurring in the communities and everything like that. If you feel to ask questions, here we go. This goes both ways. The Empress upright to the Empress in reverse. When it comes to the bill running down to like Wade Wilson. So here we are, we see Sean Combs, so we're recapping a little bit. And then we're going right through it where everyone's being acquitted. There's plea deals coming in. They're saying guilty. They're clearing charges. And they're ushered, like they're trying to get everything done. And you'd have to say, well, I mean, it's a holiday week anyways. So when I see the Page of Pentacles in reverse, there's like nothing, like don't even make a contract right now. Don't even make like a bond or a tie. I'd have to say, as like astrology goes, July, you have the Lion's Gate portal. You have 2 strong moons, though they feel soft, because August is solidifying. So when I actually go through it and I go, you can't even believe how hard it is to actually get to knock it off. I can't even do it. Page of Pentacles upright. I'm hearing everyone like Where's contracts? Where's sentences? Where's the rulings? Where's like other things that have happened? So when I see Sean Combs and I see Kohlberger and I see the Menendez brothers with Wade Wilson, all I see is a common factor. There's a knife on the table. And when I see it and I say the King of Swords in reverse means there's something nasty about this, but it is alignment up to chiropractic. When I see the World in reverse, you have to say there's nothing else out there, nothing else. When I see the Justice, it is nasty if that's true, but we didn't see evidence. We didn't see it. We didn't hear it. We didn't feel it. Instinctively, intuitively, you should be able to have that on all times. It shouldn't just pop on. When you have the Nine of Wands, and then you go, what else is going on? Seven of Wands. It actually goes to this. You can't even do. You can't even do. It's like a type of difficulty that's hard to explain. But then you say, it was their choice. Yes, they do. They get around. They do this. They do that. There's a lot of things to do. A lot of things to do. And they can't even spell do. That's when you know. There's something else. But when it happens to multiple people in the community, the same issues, and you can't even get any leeway in court, let's see what's going on. So as far as the bill is, as a psychic, I do see it passing. Like there's something of a movement going on. The energy of it is like 3 to 45. What do we need to know about Wade Wilson, since that's kicking up in the media again? Unknown past. So let's talk about Satanism. Let's talk about devil worship. Let's talk about demonology. Let's talk about a few of those things. Because when I see it, demonology is truly one of the hardest things to actually do. It's something about diversity. So I'm actually seeing Hitler. I'm seeing the dictatorships all the way down to Getty. And when I learned it from my family, when it comes to that, like with Getty and Vanderbilt and all those old families, when it comes to power, like you always know when someone's speaking through you because you sound different. So are you retaining? That's how strong it is out here in Connecticut. Like you can't like do a whole lot of things. Like we woke up overnight like this. And that's why we're like, what do you mean we have a cold? Here it is. So as I see that, always remember placement of tattoos, and everything means something. It literally means something. To the way they walk in, to actual family, real families. When you see this and you see, the lightning bolt in reverse, I can't even believe it. When you see this, the treasure in reverse, lack thereof. When I see this and I see the two worlds, two opposing forces. Initiation and the counter Saint Germain. I feel like there was heritage loss. Like something came through in 3 states where they weren't able to actually do like a family get together and couldn't see it through. Here we go. That one's being a little bit more concealed about Wade Wilson, not so much about Sean Connery. But there is that trend of toxic masculinity. Now there's a trend of toxic femininity. And they can't even get the words out right or straight. Here we go. So it has to do with like deep love, mother's milk, birth as a portal. There's something still, like at least I'm seeing and hearing about 3 to 5 states, they're still having issues with birthing centers. Action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. Like we said, there was something about that, and that's all this energy. It actually is being a little bit off about Wade Wilson. But when I see about the Menendez brothers, it had to do with ant spray. It's odd. It's odd, but it makes sense. It really was like a turkey sandwich with Wade Wilson. Like they popped it off. When you have to say it and you say Venus energy, pleasure, joy, and make love to life. Yeah, to say. I couldn't even do it hard enough. I say embrace your weirdness and face your true north. Yeah, it was nasty, nasty. It's happening. Hold a vision. There's something that's being escorted in that you can't even do. It's not time yet. Things are being woven. I can't even do it. Boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. You couldn't even do it. Energetic sovereignty, observing what is not yours. So when I say that toxic energy can actually make you sick, and people started taking like around COVID and bird flu, more PTO time to rest and recuperate. When it gets to that point, like I said before too, when you have to really settle it down and say, I need to take a mental health day for my job. There's something wrong. There really is something wrong. Here we go. So let's actually go to Kohlberger. Quiet place of growth. When I see this, I see something that actually flew through. When I see this and I go, it really does, when I'm seeing this, like taking its time, I'm just reading it as face value right now. Again, quiet place of growth. I feel like it's safe spaces. I feel like it's quiet in the room, like anyone growing up. Something about connecting to oneself honorably to where it is like known of no, just leave them alone. When he says this, like you're not to know, then everyone goes, that's sketchy. But then all of a sudden, like, why is this knife like pulling out? And when you see this, it has to do with health. It really goes to show, like, when it comes to a case, you really got to dig. But where is that fine line where law enforcement stops digging? When you see this and you go, the book, there's something like revelation, not biblical, that like makes you look like you're living in a fantasy with these cases that I'm seeing through the cards. There's something about like devotion. There's like a few who are devoted hard and stick with those cases. Here we go, Las Vegas. Three of Swords, it hurts. It really hurts. When it comes to this, and it goes, it has to do with like family to divorces and marriages on how everything is like responding. Why would that be about Las Vegas? Because we got that term and it goes, what happens there stays there. There's no skilled work or like apprenticeship or anything like that. And then you go, it's an old town road that gets to gone. Hi, Kelly. How are you? So when you see this and you go to Ten of Pentacles in reverse, it's like it's taken away of something that is not nasty. Hi, Abigail. How are you? How are you? Feel free to leave questions, Kelly and Abigail. It's a type of recklessness. So what we're doing, again, as you're entering, is about Sean Combs, Wade Wilson, Menendez Brothers, Kohlberger, and the common is a knife. A quiet place of grows. We've been streaming about almost like 30 minutes. Be about another half an hour. What else do we need to know? There's something about like completing a cycle on something with these odd cases. So when I look at it and I see the Page of Swords, I actually go through and I go, it's like hard on press to straight on steel energy. When we're sitting here watching everything go through and you go, there's no steel though. There's no steel. So it's an old term, especially from the mob. When there's no steel, the wind cuts so hard when you're outside that you're actually a hard-on press if anything happened, because you're actually just going to be like no filter. So when I see it and I go the Eight of Swords, no. The Eight of Swords means that there is no takeaway. So when you look at it and you go through it, what can you actually do? So let's actually pull out like the poker cards a little bit and do a little bit of cartomancy. Let's go to healthcare. So we just had that incident where the FBI went on and literally pulled things out due to some issues with healthcare fraud. We have holistic with the H, which is what we know, like the DEA, the DPH, OSHA, and all of that. And what do we need to do? Basically, what we need to do and what we need to see is that when you look through it hard on press, it is, because they're literally like newscasters are like this. And you have to say, what did you do? What did you do? What did you put out there that hurt us so bad? You couldn't even believe it at all. That's where the fire up is. You can't even sue anyone or do slander or defamation when you sit there at the end of your case and you won. Because it's a club. Nobody's in the club. Well, what about the Illuminati? What about the cabal? I mean, we were talking about that. We're pitching that. What about the virtuous woman? Well, that's really not into play yet. And then you hear a slander come out like, is she still virtuous? Because she's an officer and she had to do something to stay safe. You literally have that out there right now. That's why it says acquit them and sit there. Just sit there and watch. There's something else coming on. Three of this, I have to say, I had to do a little bit of leprechaun magic to get the job done. And when I look at this and I go, the Two of Hearts comes in, no love. There's no love. So when I'm looking at it, how did it all play out? It really played out with the whole thing of everything. Three of Diamonds with the kids. So now we have this. It's an odd on 5 with a Jack of Diamonds to the 8 of Clubs. And you go, there it is. There it is. I just saw that. I swear that's my piece of mail. You go to this and they go, this is nasty. This shouldn't be here. It just keeps coming here. Yep, it does. This 8 of spades means a spear through down to a spearmint gum being chewed as seen and observed on a congressional floor, which is illegal. Etiquette and class always when you arrive there, and be appropriate. So, when I'm seeing it go through, how does that relate to healthcare? How you approach your patients on the floor. What is true? Nurses actually retain a lot with physicians. Are they not getting rid of that energy? We're not to know. It is a free will choice, though. So when I actually look at it a little further, I, do the political look through down to the community matters, I'd have to say the garbage here, like the transfer station, the dump station, is the biggest issue because you can only bring so many bags now. The cat sanctuary is an issue. And you can't leave anything near the donation boxes because it's going to usher it in. When it goes to Capitol Hill steps down to the Pentagon, if you see a piece of paper on the ground, you have to say 1st degree manslaughter to aggravated assault. You go back to these old shows like Supernatural, Firefly, and you have this nostalgia, and you go just sit there at night around a campfire and watch the lightning bugs. Anyone who grew up on a farm out in the country, watch the patterns of behavior of everything in nature and how it's responding. Something is coming in. When I see the lamb, you have to say, farm animals, why are they relenting? Dragonflies, that is what's still on the table. So when I'm seeing here, this is my way of I start itching my face and itching my nose and doing that. It really is not signs. It really is premonition from being a resident nurse and being a nurse for 14 years, where I literally feel it and I go, no. When I see the whale, though, it's true. Let's see if we can try to crack open something out of the occult. So those who don't know, magicians, true magicians, and there were everyone. I can hear it. I can hear my name say, just say it. Magicians. A real magician is someone who is clean and sober, who can work energy work, but does something straight out of their soul on a plain language that can get the job done quickly. Here we go. Gold Tarot. What do we need to know about magician work? About the occult? Can't even do. It's like somebody else has to do the job for you. They have to collect the trash. They have to take the dog out for you. You have to sit right there. That's when you know you made a bag. That literally is. So anyone picking up on something, there's something else going out in the community. We still haven't been able to catch it yet. It has to do with sudden changes where people lost their jobs unbeknownst. They walked in just very similar. And you go, I just don't understand what's going on. And they drained their IRAs to everything about retirement. And now they're everything is costly. They didn't complete something. So, still on the topic of the occult, this keeps coming back from February about this ceiling effect that was black, like a rotor, like a brake, like the striations in it when it's new, that's not propelling down and halt stopping, which scared us because we actually had like a book flying and movies playing out trolling us. It was so disgusting. We had to stop. Now out here in this area, because we had the state hospital and we had a reform school, we don't know exactly what happened, but there was huge state settlement with those who survived whatever had happened. And when those occult locks leak, you get severe sinus infections to where it's severe coughing. We are hard souls out here. Justice, oh my gosh, you can actually see the energy fly through. So holding it, I still have a lot of swelling with my friend in our face, trying to like hold back certain things. So magicians, they hold something back a little bit and they go, no, I would just follow your physician's orders. And they go, you can't get a move on, but it is pretty turbulent and forced. Like, let's actually put that on the table. What do we need to know right now about, the state penitentiaries? What do we need to know about the reform schools, the state hospitals, and all these heinous things? Because we got Alcatraz coming back. Can I do? Just taking a look out for anywhere. There's something with a pond. Something with muck water. It's like a go to hell ceremony. Had to be Texas. All those people, I would have to say that's a go to hell ceremony. Is that why we were saying we needed a witch hunt? It's really not bad to be a witch. It really isn't. There's something about a lock it down to a hypervigilance to a guarding to where it's really not threatening either. You start getting picky and choosy on who comes into your house all of a sudden. You just feel the energy, or it's just natural. I'd rather go with natural. There's no takeaway. Let's say outside courthouse after Brian Coburn pleads guilty to tune in. I definitely see that there's something going on right now. There's definitely some people who are quite angry with him. We don't even know what's going on. That's what I keep hearing. There's a selling of oneself. It can be honorable and it can be dishonorable always. We had that huge issue with prostitution, but we already know that. Like I said, it's just confirming. It's just really confirming. When you have the Three of Pentacles and you go, no way. Why is the whole town clearing their name from slander and defamation out here? I got Connecticut Superior Court. Like you know what. So not to scare anyone, but magicians can do covers. So magicians, when they speak, they can speak in a cover. And so my grandparents, they instilled a cover into me because it was still taboo to speak Gaelic. So speaking a little Gaelic, showing a truth. So really, when I actually really do, I'm not faking my accent. I'm really, really hard. So I soften the blow. That's how hard I speak. Even to the point of this. So can gifts actually, like I'm hearing out in the community, can gifts like psychic mediumship and magician work, can it be passed down generation to generation? It definitely can. It definitely is a skill. And when that gift or that skill comes through, they look a little haywire. And when they look haywire, they look like a loon. And they have to say they have to commit you. And then they have to say to commit you, I'd rather be committed to law enforcement and military and be absolutely a loon than actually be like trapped in some sort of like anything and being like forced a medication. I have to say, let them yell and scream it out a little bit. Just teach them, like what is right and what is wrong. So there's some sort of happiness that actually comes through. I mean, it actually comes through. You actually have to do it to a true, on a through. Now, when I look at it and I go, you can't even be. It's not planted or manifested. It's earthwild. I feel like it's a little bit of earth core magic, like something that actually came in on a through and a two and a true and a through. That's all I hear on a club. I have to say a hoagie. That was a hard catch. And it causes anxiety to whatever the criminal is doing. Like, they boiled it right down to what I was eating. The day they thought of it, think it, say it, do it. That's how hard to manifest. Someone who's not even a psychic or that strong can manifest something. Now, I am sure, as I would normally say, but what everyone is used to hearing is that, as far as medical marijuana, you can use it. You really can. But what is the motive and intent? Are you actually lying to your physician? Because they'll catch that. They'll absolutely catch it if you use straight marijuana for a while. It really does not clear you. I've had that on some patients. I'm going to use medical marijuana so I can clear. When you go the King of Wands can't even do it hard enough. Lack of inheritance. What is it we not showing our true selves? I'd have to say, that's my neighbor right across. What are we showing that? I'm not showing our true selves and how you can be. And actually, like someone who's suffered from criminal activity, even a car accident, can talk a little bit different and have a different mindset. It's okay to change and move on, even up to the point of maybe someone's loved one survived death, and they can move on. They can have a divorce because that's probably what was needed, or not to know if the universe actually executed something out. Here it is. What do we need to know as far as like obscurities? I would have to say obscurity still as yesterday is like what's not being covered in the media. Always know that it's Freedom of Information Act, privacy laws, HIPAA, on what they consent to be put out into the media. There we go. As far as what it is going to play out for the rest of the day, I have to say, I have to say the children are going to dictate. I have this hard feeling they are going to dictate. Ace of Pentacles, the Empress, to the Emperor in reverse, to the Ten of Cups. So I'll show it. So this is the Wild Unknown Tarot. And when I look at this and I go, it really is like new beginnings of money and jobs and like things that are offered right at the door. And it has to do with feminine energy. And it's not always just a female. Feminine energy can be, like I said, if someone is more scientific minded, feminine energy, when it appears, it is clear, but it tones down to an opaque. So when I look at it and I go, it's not cloudy or hazy, it's opaque, toned down a notch, so they're not so hard. Men's energy is like solid block to a sheer sheen, to nasty masculine energy, but I'd have to say green and clear and cloudy. That you have to go, I can't even believe you at all. They're really not happy in some things. That's all you have to say. So when it comes to the children, was there like a change in job? Change in anything in the schools? That's just me. Like they threw energy. I got it. That keeps happening. I think they all think I'm crazy. Mother of Wands is sitting in a way unknown to be renowned. When you see the Magician, it's using everything about yourself. So say someone's having an affair, and you look at it and you go, it's a little bit of Irish mob. So really, do we have to talk about that? They say a mob is illegal. It's a mob. Like Abu Ghasira, like all MS-13, that's a mob. That's a gang. You can't have that. What if it was legal, lawful? That's happened in history in the 20s and the 30s. What were they running? I try to remember. It was gold coins, like a Smoke a Toka Loka Hoke. It was on the table. All right. Let's go to Peach Moonstone Runes. Solidarity, on how solid you could be. Has to do with your own self, down to as solid as you can be, where you live, with your family. And I have to say this, I feel people are actually connecting a little bit harder when they go to the beach or go to the lake or to the pond. And they're actually like clearing, they're like, okay, I got it out. Like I actually can see exactly what's going on. And then when I see this, they're not locked and blocked up. When I see Barkana, they really are like, I heard it so well. And lastly with this, when I see it at Nadis, it's something about the importance of it, like 24 to 48 hours, like about people sleeping the best that they can. Try not to like wake people up. I don't know why it's saying that, but that's really all you need to know right now. It really is. So with that being said, leave a like, a comment, a share, an email. It's greatly appreciated. A subscribe. That's greatly appreciated too. And with anything else, we will talk to you tomorrow, 2 p.m. And we'll see you through. Have a good day.